freaking 10mm socket go? Oh, you guys, 10mm sockets. Let me tell you, cannot have enough of them. I just dropped it. I don't know where it went. It's probably gone forever. But what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've heard a lot of you guys talking about it in the comments. You guys want to see these AC video wiring stuff like that. Now, I've already completed the wiring for the vintage air, but I'm going to walk you through kind of what I did, kind of give you maybe some tips and tricks. Maybe it'll help. Who knows? Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just confuse you even more. But let me show you. As you can see, guys, we've been working, man. We've been getting a lot of stuff done. You guys remember that last video we talked about the battery install? But we are putting in some work inside as well. We just kind of finished up our shifter not too long ago. I do got to connect the cable down at the transmission side, but this thing is ready to go, bolted in. Also, we got our harness for the center console ready to go with a nice quick disconnect like from factory. But vintage air, yeah, buddy, this thing is they're not hard to do, but they're just super time consuming. But the wiring aspect, not too complicated, you guys. It's pretty simple. You're gonna have a couple wires, right, that you're gonna have to worry about. You got this red and black connector that kind of comes off that. That actually goes back to your relay. You have a relay that comes in the kit. I always like to locate them right here behind the kick panel because you can still get to them. It's super serviceable there. I like to locate it right there. And then you're gonna have another little breaker that comes in that kit. See if I can show you guys. It's gonna be kind of hard to see it there, but you're gonna have a breaker also that comes in, and that's basically your main power source that's coming in. You got two wires that come into that. I always kind of cut them down and then recrimp new terminals on them because they give you a lot of wire. Just obviously depends on where you're putting this thing at. If you're putting it in the engine bay, you're probably gonna want that anyways. So don't cut any wires until you have your spot that you're gonna be putting it at. So you have that there. And of course, you're going to have a couple wires that come off of that as well. You're going to have a violet wire that's actually for your ignition that'll come off that same set of wires. If you follow mine here, it comes back over here. And actually, we got it just tied into our ignition here. Not too complicated. It's just really power, key on, nothing too crazy for that violet wire that's off the harness there. And what else do we have here? You're also going to have a wire that's, I believe it's tan wire, and that's actually for the power that your, what do you call that thing, control panel really is what it's for. So when you hit your lights on, the light on the indicators come on with your lights for that control, the AC control panel, where you basically turn your AC on and on, blower, you name it. So what we like to do is we tie it into the dash lights. And a lot of these old GM Chevy cars have like a gray wire that's from factory, and you're probably going to want to locate it depending on your guys' harness setup. We just tied it in right there. If you guys can see right there, this nice quick disconnect is tied into our gray dash wire lights. And that tan wire from Vintage Air, you're just going to tie in directly to that. Nothing too complicated, nothing crazy. There is a couple wires that you don't end up using, at least I don't. There's a gray wire, I believe, that's in there, but it's mainly for programming, stuff like that. Probably when you get a little bit more complex to the Vintage Air kit. Nothing to worry about, nothing to be afraid of. I wouldn't even worry about that stuff. But you're also going to have another set of wires that actually is coming off the same harness, and it's actually going to be a pigtail that's usually red and green. And if you follow mine, if I can... got a bunch of stuff in the way, but if you follow mine's coming down here, and you got a quick disconnect right there that plugs in to that same relay. And that, guys, those are the ones that you're going to end up having to run outside to the heater control valve outside. So you're going to have one that's basically a ground, which is your white, and then the other one is going to be the connector really that has it to the heater control, and that's where you're going to plug in on the other side there. Now the ground wire, I usually come back and I run it inside, and I run the ground on the inside of the car. You can see it right here. You follow it here, and I actually have it connected to the other ground wire from the Vintage Air kit. That actually you're going to have another set of two white wires that come, and they're actually going to be, they all want you to plug them in directly into your battery, of course. But if you follow mine, it's hard to follow it, right? but actually mine come back here to this grounding post. I have a grounding post under here behind the dash, and they mate there along with the main battery ground that comes to the main block here. So you're going to make sure you want to tie in those whites together. Of course, the red one that comes off that same area is the one that's basically associated with that breaker, which is your power. Again, we have our power tied into that as well. Another setup here for another battery post here, but this is obviously positive. That is constant power, always constant power for that one. Obviously, the other wire that I showed you earlier, the violet wire, is your ignition power. Now, as far as inside the car itself, you guys, you're not going to have any of the wires besides the quick disconnect. You can't see it here because my fuse box is in the way, but you're going to have the quick disconnect that plugs in. I can't even show you guys. I got so much stuff in the way. But it's basically the quick disconnect that plugs into that box from Vintage Air that's back there. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but it's just a couple quick disconnectors. Or I should say it's one connector really that just plugs in to your control panel on the dash, but our control panel is already mounted on the dash, so we'll do that once we actually have the dash installed. You got one other wire to worry about really, and that's on the engine bay. I'll show you guys in a second, but I really want to show you guys something I'm really proud of, and we came up with this idea here, is that obviously we relocated this Highway 22 panel here, so that way you have access from the glove compartment, but it also created another problem that we weren't even thinking about at the time, is the air duct from Vintage Air. The air duct from Vintage Air, the actual inlet actually sits right here in the middle, right where our wires are at. So that wasn't going to work. So again, we came up with the solution. What I did is I 3D scanned the original one, and I redesigned it so the inlet actually sits off to the left here. You can see that solved all our problems. Now we actually can connect that defroster from the Vintage Air. And we 3D printed this thing. Look at this thing, man. This thing came out so freaking sweet, you guys. Again, I kind of designed it, 3D scanned the other one just to kind of have an idea and a reference and measurements and things like that. But that looks so freaking good. Super proud of that guy right there. That's going to work like a champ. It's going to leave underneath the dash. You'll never even see it. Printing this thing was kind of a challenge too, because my printer was acting up, especially how big it was. Definitely a challenge, but it solved all our problems right there. Looking good. Let me go to the front of the car now. This is where it kind of gets a little tricky. Obviously, you just got one wire that's really going to come from the inside of the dash from that same connector, that the wires that were coming to the valve here, and is a blue wire from Vintage Air. And the blue wire is actually designed to go into your binary switch for your dryer, but because we're running electric fans, you want to do a trinary switch, which they don't include in the kit. You're going to end up having to buy that thing separately. But it's really to trigger this bad boy right here, is that AC compressor. We put a nice quick disconnect right there for the AC compressor, so it's still serviceable just in case we ever have to replace that guy. You can pop that guy off. But the trick is, it's really, the binary switch is exactly what they send you from Vintage Air kit. Again, the trinary switch you have to buy separate, but you can only run the binary if you're running like a water pump driven fan, basically not electric fans. So binary meaning 2, so it's just one wire in, one wire out really. But the trinary switch is a little bit different because it basically serves as a third command. So you're going to have 4 wires that come out of this thing, and you're going to have to obviously plumb 4 wires in. One of them's always ground, the other one's actually one from the actual compressor, and the other one is the one that's coming in from the Vintage Air kit, from that blue wire that I was telling you about that runs through the inside of the fender and lands in here. And then the other one actually goes back and it talks to the fans, to the fan trigger. Really is what it is. It's whenever the fan trigger comes on from the ECU, it'll trigger this also, and it'll actually kick one of the fans on, so that way there's always air coming through this condenser. It's really what it comes, that's really what it's for. It's in order to actually have the air conditioning working, the condenser needs fresh air coming through that front end of yours, especially when you're at a stop or the car is not up to temperature and you decide to turn your air on because it's hot out and the car is hot. That's really what it's for. It's designed to turn on that basically your radiator fan, and that way it's sucking air through that condenser and it actually works like it's supposed to. If you guys need a little bit more in detailed video, I do have a full video how to install, how to wire the trinary switch. I'll link it down in the description below so you guys can check that out. But I want to show you guys what this front end is looking like. It is coming along. We got our transmission cooler already ran plumb, ready to go. Check that out. We got a little T-stat right there as well to tell it when to turn on and off. So that way the tranny gets up to temp as well. But you guys can tell, man, we have been putting in some work behind the scenes. Obviously, we got a nice little quick disconnector there for the trinary switch. But yeah, if you guys need that information as far as that guy goes there, check that out. Let me show you guys one other thing too here. Why? Because I know somebody guys was asking about it. But that right there, that bad boy right there, that is the Detroit Speed windshield wiper motor kit. It's not hard. You just end up really having to take the existing wire from your original one. Usually it's a white wire depending on what's your power activator there and your power signal, I should say. But it's really just one wire that gets plumbed into there. But then you obviously have a ground and all that good stuff. You'll have all that actually lives inside the car along with a little module that comes from Detroit Speed. We just ended up drilling a hole down there. You can't even see it for that wire loom to come down there because we didn't want to plumb it into, if you recall, that connector right there. So that way we didn't have a wire going all the way across. So that gives us a nice cleaner look. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So right back here underneath the dash, you guys can see that's the hole I'm talking about. It even comes with the grommet from Detroit Speed. We just drilled a nice clean hole there. And we ran the wire there for our actual windshield wiper. Oh yeah, you can see we've been wiring, you guys. What a freaking mess in there, but hey, you got to do it. So this is the windshield wiper module from Detroit Speed. Like I said, it's not hard. You got the one bolt connector that actually comes from the motor, and then you got a small one here as well that has an extra, it has actual power, ground, and stuff like that. And then really all it's what it comes down to it. This actually will mount right next to your steering column, but we won't put this in until, because the steering column bolt bracket goes through that and it'll live underneath your dash like so. But that's pretty much it, man. Check it out. They are expensive though. The Detroit Speed wiper motor are super expensive. I want to say they're close to $600–700 easy for sure, but we really needed to run it because the extra valve cover clearance that it actually allows us to have. Well, you guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully I didn't make this more confusing than what it is. It's really not hard. Again, follow your instructions, man. It's a couple wires, nothing crazy. It's just take your time, be patient. And if you guys need that video on the trinary switch, I'll put a link down in the description below, so that way you guys can take your time with that. That's probably the more complex thing of all of them, because you want to make sure that that fan relay is talking to the actual vintage air to let it know / compressor to turn on when you kick your AC on, so that way the fans come on. But guys, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for notification. And you guys already know, stay wrenching.